Take all your money, buy Bitcoin.
You wake up every morning and say GM.
GM. GM. So, I want to start today with, by the way, it's fucking, what is it, Tuesday? 10th of September. So, on the screen you'll see an example of a tweet, but I've seen this tweet 4 or 5 times from different big accounts, saying Bitcoin has just put in its first higher low in 6 months. And it's interesting how there's 4 or 5 of them. If you look through Twitter, you'll find it. Just type in BTC higher low into the search bar. There's probably more than 4 or 5, but the big accounts. Some of them saying, did we just do it? Others saying, we did. And I was like, okay, hold on a minute. This is just bad. This is just not good. Like, straight up wrong. And this is not to say that we have or haven't. This could be a higher low, right? Could be. Seen all the paths, all the different ways it can go. You get a fresh chart. It's not a higher low though. Not the first higher low in 6 months, right? So this is the idea. Did Bitcoin just put in the first higher low in 6 months after, what they're saying is basically this, lower low, lower low, lower low. Is this the first higher low in 6 months? No, it's not. Because why is this not a higher low? Is this not a higher low? Was that not higher low? No. Everyone said that was a higher low. And then it actually broke structure and went higher. So why was that not the higher low? So that would have been the first higher low. Yes? And then we went down, of course. We went to new lows. And then we went to new lows again. And then we formed another higher low here, which literally was a higher low at the time. So why was this not the first higher low? Because it wasn't. It was the second, maybe. And yet then now it comes down again and it bounces for 3 days. And this apparently is the higher low. It's not. I don't know what measure of analysis is being used, but any market structure will tell you this is a bounce. And it hasn't even broken and closed the first market structure level, which would be here. Even the earliest interim low, or interim high, sorry, market structure would be there. If we close a daily candle above that, you could say, all right, that's potentially, this is potentially now a higher low. Just like this one was too, right, which obviously you can see came down, broke and held, closed above again, closed above here, had multiple attempts, multiple times. As did this one, moved up, put in a high, put in a low, closed above. Like, there have been many examples of these supposed higher lows. So no, it's not. And this is not supposed to be bearish. I'm not saying that this definitely means we're going lower. I have seen kind of a pretty alarming, like 180 again in sentiment. The whole it's so over, we're so back. To where it's just like, all right, let's pull out the meme coin charts again and fucking up we go. That was the higher low. I'm not sure. To be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if we went for another one. Just because of that. Just that we had another push down. Maybe that's it. So I think if we've bottomed, and if this is the bottom, I think we probably sweep this just because we're only at 57.2, so we're not even back above the pivot, which is the most important level in the chart, really, and has been for a couple of years, to be honest. Right? Couldn't stay above it in 2021, rejected off it in the first crash, couldn't hold it in 2021 the second time, rejected massively, big impulses lower. Came up in 2024, got above it, held it, started to lose it, right? Held it once, faked out below it, then lost it, then couldn't reclaim it, then couldn't hold it, then here we are, right? So get above that at minimum and hold that ideally, and then we can talk, especially if you do that, right? If we get above here, hold the pivot, and then get above 65, that's when it's looking really constructive. Until then, you're longing into a downtrend on the first bounce, right? So, no, I wouldn't say that this is a confirmed higher low. And Reason being is all these accounts with their cumulative millions of followers, and certainly millions of views, are spouting something that people want to hear, want to see, want to hope for, and I'm not sure yet. Everyone talks about, Q4, let's go, up only. Well, it's still Q3 for a start. It's only the 10th of September. So Q4 doesn't start till October, to begin with. September has been mildly bearish, I guess. We have gone down so far. No reason why we couldn't go down more and still finish the month flat or strong, and then fucking away we go if this up only October is going to happen. So I would just urge a bit of caution. Not convinced myself. Now tonight we've got Trump versus Kamala debate. That's going to be, I think it's at 1 a.m. UTC tomorrow, so just after today's close, an hour after today's daily close, going into tomorrow, we will have the debate. I think it's 9 p.m. Eastern time in America. And a lot of talk about it. I think it's going to have almost zero effect on the market unless they specifically talk about crypto, which I really doubt. If you remember back, Biden and Trump just talked about, the border, inflation, all that kind of shit. And crypto's not even a top 10 issue for the American people. So I don't think that that's even going to remotely be mentioned. And especially because this might be the only debate. There's talk about that there's just going to be this one and done. Trump will do more, but Harris probably is just going to do one, especially if she does badly. And I don't think they're going to talk about crypto. So I don't think that the crypto market should move significantly based on that. There's a couple of reasons why it might. Number one, if anything, so Bitcoin is the liquid 24/7 market, right? So the stock market's not open 24/7. When Harris and Trump debate, the stock market will be closed for the main session. Obviously, futures markets will be open, but the stock market will be closed. And crypto isn't. So Bitcoin's up and awake all the time. You might see some reaction there. Same way that on the weekends, if there's war breaking out or geopolitical issues or whatever, crypto tends to show some volatility in those times because it's the only thing left that people can trade or hedge or short or long or whatever whenever external factors are affecting markets outside of normal trading hours. I don't think it's going to be much more than just a bit of volatility. And I think that nothing significantly can change the prospects for the crypto market here. We've already heard about Trump. He's fucking pro-crypto. He's running with that. We've heard that Harris, obviously we know that the Democrats and Harris are not pro-crypto. We've heard little rumblings that they want to be more pro-crypto, to try and kind of, only just because the pressure of going against Trump and him being so pro, it kind of gives them, not that they like crypto, but they're going to have to pretend they do. And I just don't see any of that changing. I think this is going to be a massive non-event. What's way more important is tomorrow, CPI inflation. Thursday, PPI inflation again. And there's unemployment data this week as well. That's more important to the market than whatever this debate does. I don't see the debate swinging the odds of the election massively in either direction. It is the most relevant thing that's going to happen between now and the election. Obviously, the exception to that, the caveat, is that there could be some surprises. There so often is, right? There's often surprises in the election cycle. Whatever it's going to be. You remember in 2020, they pulled out that video of Trump talking about fucking grab her by the pussy stuff like that. That was all towards the election, So there's probably going to be stuff that comes out, but we don't know that, right? So I'm not going to fucking speculate on stuff that hasn't happened. This is the first time Trump and Harris will be face-to-face directly. So that's obviously going to be a big... I don't know how much it's going to actually shift people. I think at this point, we're less than 2 months from the election. And I think that Trump people are set for Trump. Harris people are set for Harris. In the middle, people who are undecided, I think that cohort, that population is ever decreasing. You know, the more polarized your elections become, and this is like the most polarized, the fewer people there are sitting on the fence. I think most people are decided. And I don't think Harris is going to come out and say something that's going to make people vote for her. I don't think Trump's going to come out and say something and make people vote for him. So you're going to see a lot. It's going to write the headlines. There's going to be clips all over social media, blah, blah, blah. And if you're on the right, you're going to think Trump's won. And if you're on the left, you're going to think Harris has won. It's the same fucking bullshit. The one thing I will say is that crypto people, especially, I think there's a big blind spot. Crypto people are desperate for Trump to win just to save their bags. And obviously Republicans are just, blind to anything bad about Trump, and Democrats are blind to anything bad about Harris. But mostly we look at the Trump side because we're crypto and, people want him to win. He wasn't good against Biden. Like, I don't know, people who are way too biased are just completely blind to the fact that Trump is not, he's not old Trump. He's not 2016 Trump where he's attacking people and he's fucking saying wild shit and he seems like a real renegade and people are like, holy shit, this guy's going to shake things up. He's like nearly 80 years old and he looks old and he looks tired and he doesn't, he's not the same kind of guy. Doesn't seem like to have the same kind of energy. He doesn't attack people anymore. He's trying to go more towards the middle, blah, blah, blah. So, and I don't, that doesn't matter. That's obviously a strategy he's running. He's trying to appear more presidential, more open so he can win votes of people who are less extreme. Sure, fine, do whatever you want. But that means the odds of him doing something that really shifts things, good or bad, decreases greatly. He's playing it safe. I think the outcome of this is just going to be incredibly boring and non-event. And people are going to try and make it seem like something really good happens. But against Biden, Trump was not good. Biden was literally dementia-ridden, terrible, couldn't speak. It wasn't Trump being good. It was that Biden couldn't remember his words. Harris is not going to have that problem. She's going to speak off her fucking teleprompter. And that's it, right? She's going to memorize her lines, whatever. So, that's about as much time as I want to waste on the fucking debate. I think it's going to be nothing. Trade of the day, I'll talk a little bit about the volatility. I mentioned it on the stream the other day. It's, a little spike up, a little spike down, sure. But beyond that, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot. Now, the market itself, I'm most interested in the daily bands going green across the indexes. So total 2, and total 3. Total 3, you'll notice, is slightly stronger than the other two. It was pushing through its bands. So people seem to be allocating themselves into altcoins again, which again, to me, is part of this, getting ahead of themselves, jumping the gun too early, I think, is manifesting here where people are, I think it's just simple. People are just piling back into altcoins. Now, it doesn't mean we can't go higher. I don't think everyone's fucking getting balls along again and adding leverage. I think most people are just holding and didn't sell and hoping it goes back up. And I think we can go higher. Typically the market will move to an area where everybody feels like they have to be in. And at that point, then you'll see it dump. But it's quite simple. If we fall back below Sunday's high, or really the weekly open, I think is the best. So we see here. The weekly open, which is here, Monday's open. I think that's the level to watch on all of the indexes. So total 3, total, and obviously, Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, etc. That will be your first indication that this rally is failing, or this potential rally, right, is failing. And looking at individual coins, like the most popular ones, WIF, starting to kind of turn around and angle upwards, which is potentially good. Way too early for anything to be drawn from this. If you're looking at a bearish formation, it looks like this, and you can often have a third spike like that, so you can see it take out the highs and then still go lower. This is a long way to go to become anything other than a bearish distribution. I would say you need to see a proper move and a proper higher low form. I think that you'd actually break structure to the upside, form a higher low, and then once you're starting to move here, you can look at all-time highs. But I think that's months away, to be honest, unless it goes lower, in which case, if it goes lower, I think you can see the rally just go straight, because if people bet on the bottom, like they bet on the bottom here, and they got taken out, if they bet on the bottom again, they get taken out, that's probably when you see the proper capitulation, people really give up. And that's when the next rally can rally with no pullbacks, like we did over here, like with Pepe. Pepe is a great example from earlier in the year, or last year, where you had Pepe like this, okay? So Pepe rallied, so it had its big launch back in mid-2023. Then it had its rally, and people were like, holy shit, is that the bottom? Nope, got taken out. And then it rallied up, and people said, oh, that's the bottom, and they get long here, and they get long here, and they're all betting on continuation, and it comes down and takes them out. And then, when people think, well, fuck this, Pepe's done, it must be going back towards the lows, it consolidates, holds, and when it goes, it's just pure momentum, straight up. I think that's more likely. If any of these alts are going to go higher, I think it's more likely that they do nothing, and then explode. I don't think that you're going to see necessarily just this nice higher highs, higher lows all the way, and then we break out. It doesn't seem to me the way that meme coins would or should move, because they're generally like an all or nothing type play. They either have momentum or they don't. Back over into stocks, we saw a Monday session where we came in at the New York session and basically sideways. So nothing really to glean in there. Is it going to continue higher? Is it going to go lower? Plenty of room to go lower, I think. I would guess that there's probably another leg down to come off this, unless it's able to break and hold above here. But really it needs to break and hold above that 56 up there to really show that this was just a dip. Otherwise, you're probably going to see it make its way lower and bottom out there before running back towards that level. The dollar is looking like a potential rally. Obviously, the dollar overall is most likely going to go lower over the coming months, but it is at previous support, and it has attempted once and twice to go lower, and that's failed. So if it starts to break above 102, you're looking at a dollar rally, which could retrace all the way back to 105. That would be potentially crypto negative and stock negative. And then we look at ETH. Bouncing off the lows, yes. Potentially a double bottom or a failure to return. That could be good. Obviously, ETH's overall chart is cooked, so plenty of work still to do there. ETH BTC, still weak, despite that. Right? So ETH BTC is still showing no signs of life. Solana bouncing, but from bouncing from underneath the bands and from at the very, very lows. And again, could be. I wouldn't be surprised to look back and say, oh, this was it. Solana actually bottomed here when everybody thought it must go lower. I would still say, though, this is more likely to go down than up. And I wouldn't quite have confidence in it just yet. Solana for me is simple. 170 above there is when things get interesting. And crypto stocks are cooked. Right, absolutely cooked. Coinbase, which everyone's like, oh, Coinbase, best thing ever. Fucking send it. I mean, it's just made a lower high from 2021's levels and is breaking structure. Bands are red, broken structure multiple times on the weekly chart. This is not a bullish chart. I mean, it does take a genius to know that. So something needs to change there. And what else? That's about it. There's across the altcoin space, there are some alts that are showing early signs of strength, but I would say that it seems a bit like a blind bet at the moment rather than any kind of sustained strength. So time will tell. I will see. As for BTC, on the lower time frames, like going into today, I'll do this more on trade of the day. But this 15-minute, you can use any of the time frames, but 15 minutes shows probably most clearly. We pushed down last night, came back into this support and held, which is good. I don't think I need this red box anymore. But it also opens up a really clear invalidation now. So if Bitcoin loses this level, it's cooked. It's probably going all the way back down. If it doesn't, if it holds, then it can build through that and break higher. So there's the two main paths for BTC, which I'll dive a bit more into on Trade of the Day. And today at 6 p.m, I have a crossover stream with Professor Sillard, which is in his campus. I'm going to talk about everything between our campuses, crypto, DeFi, / meme coins, see what's happening over there with airdrops, anything else that Sillard's looking at, answering your questions, and so on and so on and so on. 4 p.m. when my normal stream is on. I won't be streaming, obviously. I'll do the crossover stream. But I will be on for the campus onboarding. But that's for people who've signed up on the webinar link. So that's it. GM. See you today at 6 p.m. Maybe I'll do 2 streams. Maybe I'll do a short Ask Michael at 4 p.m. the usual time. Maybe I'll do something different. I don't want to do an AMA. I don't want to do Ask Michael at 4 because I'm going to be on with Sillard at 6 and we're going to answer questions there. So maybe I'll do something different. But definitely 6 p.m. UTC. That's the main stream, the crossover stream you've all been waiting for. GM. See you then.